Hello and welcome to the program. Well, the Nigerian Senate has moved swiftly to dismiss allegations of corruption within its ranks, refuting claims made by Senator Abdul Nengi and Agom Jarigbe, both of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Now, the controversy emerged during a heated debate sparked by Senator Abdul Nengi's assertion that the 2024 budget was padded by over 3.7 trillion naira. Adding fuel to fire, Senator Agom Jarigbe asserted that some members are guilty of such practice, adding that some senior senators pocketed 500 million naira each from the 2024 Appropriation Act for constituency projects in the budget. Countering the claims, Senator representing Ekiti South Senatorial District and Chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Yemi Adaramodu, highlighted that Agom Jarigbe and Nengi relied on hearsay rather than concrete evidence to support their claims. He emphasized the importance of factual accuracy in such serious allegations, just as he firmly rejected the accusations as baseless, emphasizing that there was no truth to the allegations put forward by Senator Agom Jarigbe. Meanwhile, President Godswill Akpabio says the swift response of the Senate underscores its commitment. Let me take that again. Meanwhile, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says the swift response of the Senate underscores its commitment to transparency and accountability amidst growing concerns over alleged financial impropriety within the Nigerian legislative body. And to discuss this pressing issue, Iuka James, research and policy analyst at Budgit, is my guest on the program. Thank you very much for joining me, Iuka. Now, the allegation of padding of the 2024 budget by Senator Abdul Nengi has ruffled feathers in various quarters, with some people saying that his suspension without investigation claims amounts to cover-up. Now, what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon. I would say yes, his allegations ruffled a lot of feathers. It caught the attention of the citizens, and you'll be surprised how interested Nigerians are in this situation. And the first thing I would say is the allegation of the senator has really not been able to, on our part, we've been unable to lay our fingers on substantial evidences. Yes, we're working on the budget currently, and we are looking into it, as we have said. But we have to understand that when a claim on budget padding comes up, one won't just jump on it and say, yes, it is so. One would have to take several steps, considering the fact that the senator said that the budget was padded by 3 trillion naira, and that is a lot of money. But according to our analysis, 2.8 trillion naira budget was signed into law by the president, and the 2.5 trillion naira was published, while the remaining 3 trillion naira included government-owned enterprises, the National Assembly budget that were not broken down into expenditures. But the remaining 2.5 trillion naira was broken down into expenditure according to each MDA. And that is what we have access to, and that is what we are working with. So I would say that these issues present themselves, and in a certain way, the budget itself has some opaque items, and there's some things that we have to look into. If a suspension is a cover-up, I would say that the Senate has their own rules, they have their own policies, their own procedures of doing things. And if it's a cover-up, we'll find out eventually. If it's not a cover-up, I think whatever is due by the Senate should be done. But we as citizens really are interested. I am delighted that Nigerians are putting their foot forward, and they really want to know what's best. Thank you.
Right. Now, the Senate has also denied allegations of senior members receiving 500 million naira for constituency projects. Senator Nengi also accused the Senate President, that's Godswill Akpabio, of being privy of how much each senator earns, but no other senator is aware of his take-home pay. Now, is this appropriate on any level at all?
So we can't overlook the area of hierarchy. In every arm of government, there are hierarchies, and that are to be acknowledged. The Senate is an arm of government that gets 100 billion naira allocation. They have 100 billion naira marked for the Senate, for the National Assembly. And I'll say that each senator, each constituency has a part of this 100 billion naira. And the larger the constituency, the more money they spend. The smaller the constituency, the lesser amount of money they would get. And the Senate has senior members, when I'm talking about the hierarchy now, while they have the regular floor members of the Senate. And one would expect that each member, according to hierarchy, will get their own allocation. So if a particular constituency that is large enough to have a larger budget as compared to some other constituency, they won't get the same allocation. So if now the concern will be, while the process of this allocation, is it fair enough? Is it transparent enough? One will not know until they come out with the details that they have within the Senate. Now, the Senate president having more allocation to himself, he calls that, according to the hierarchy, he is the president of the Senate, and he would actually have more allocations. But one would not know if it was cash transfer or it was just budget allocation. The story, the corruption, the transparency or whatnot around that process, we can't lay our fingers on it. And it is something that calls for concern, because we all are clamoring for transparency. So it would be nice if the Senate would come out and say for themselves what is going on exactly, because we are not in their midst. It is whatever they let us know that we are privy to.
Well, how about the issue of the take-home pay? Akpabio allegedly knows how much each senator earns. No other senator knows what Akpabio earns. So my question is this normal? Is this how it's meant to be? I mean,
no. I see, we all call for transparency. The Senate president should be transparent enough. Every leader of the government should be accountable and transparent with the people, with his senators and the citizens. We are entitled to this information. This is our country. We are citizens of Nigeria, and we should know. The senator should provide information as necessary. So that we will not be in the dark and be fighting in the dark. Thank you.
Now, you said earlier that this issue has ignited the interest of Nigerians, and as we well know, the national budget is a public document which expressly states the expected revenue and the expenditure of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, can this be settled by just internal legislative mechanisms like the senators have called for?
So Nigeria has the Senate has legislative mechanisms. They have committee system. They have standing committee systems that look into the budget, look into the implementation of projects. But I'd say that the Senate's calling for internal legislative mechanisms, I would assume they want a different set of mechanisms. And whatever set of mechanisms they want, they should come up with it. They should come up with these mechanisms. They should make it as simple and explicit as it can be to the people, so that we can follow up and we will be sure that these mechanisms can work. Because if the standing mechanisms are not working, I'm sure they would have ideas of new mechanisms that they think ideally should function. So I'll say that if they have new set of mechanisms that they want to propose, we as Nigerians will wait for them to propose these mechanisms. But at the end of the day, true transparency is what we want. We want to know how our money is being spent. We want to know if these projects are being implemented. We want to know how it benefits the people of this country. So irrespective of the mechanisms, whatever way they want to carry it out, the end result is for us to have a country that is functioning. So our internal legislative mechanism is totally welcomed.
Finally, although the claims by Senators Nigi and Agom Jarigbe haven't been proven, how can the public make the leaders accountable for every dime of government money that is spent?
We have the budget that is a public document. I think the people we as the people would do ourselves a major favor by picking up the budget and going through it. A lot of people do not know what the budget is about. Now, thankfully, I think the people should voice their concerns. Once they pick up the budget, they should voice their concerns. We have social media. You can call up the president, you can call the Senate, you can call the National Assembly, sack them as citizens. We have the entitlement, we have the power to voice our concerns. And secondly, I would say that Budgit Foundation is currently working on a budget analysis document that will be available very soon, and it simplifies the budget that's been published. So it points at very important aspects of the budget that has been simplified for the people to understand this budget that has been released. And also we have the tracker unit that is also involved in the implementation of the projects in the budget. So you have it from the beginning to the end. So I'll say Nigerians would do themselves a very great favor in trying to understand the government's document, sitting down with it, understanding it, and calling out our leaders where necessary as responsible as possible. We should not be very, very irresponsible with the way we call them out, but I think it will be a thing of great deserve for us to call them out and do what we can do as citizens on our part. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Iuka James, research and policy analyst at Budgit. Thank you so much for sharing your insights.
Thank you.
We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll be discussing security. Stay with us. We'll return shortly.